There are only two people needed in your life for success. And those two people, above all, God, and also very important, yourself. You have to be secure enough within yourself to achieve your goals, achieve your dreams, and always be there for yourself. You're the only person that is constantly going to have your own back in your life. The only person. People that say they love you, people that say you can trust them and that they trust you, and that they want to be there for you, and that they're never going to leave you. They come and go more than some people would like to admit, you know? No one is guaranteed in your life but yourself and God. But only God if you let him. One thing that people kind of put aside is that having God in your life is a relationship. It goes both ways. God is always offering himself to us. He's always there for us, no matter what, no matter how much we sin, how much we fall, God is always there. It is up to us to seek him. God gave us free will, and he let us make decisions by ourselves. So it is up to us to go to him, to seek him, seek his guidance, and follow his path and be faithful. So in order to have God fully in your life, you have to give yourself to him. God is not someone who's gonna flake out on you. What God wants is only going to benefit you. But that's a given if you read the Bible, which granted can be tricky to get into. But reading the Bible is great. I've honestly slacked in it a little bit in the past, but I've been trying to do it every morning, read a new verse, and just get more active in my prayer, because that's talking directly to God himself. It isolates him and I, and gets our relationship to be that much closer. But turning the page, into ourselves, you have to be secure with yourself. You have to stride and walk with confidence and believe that you can do anything, especially under the power of God. Your life is the only life you can change. You can't change anybody else's life, nor should you want to. People are going to do what it is that they want to do. You shouldn't want to change anybody's life. If people are going to walk with you, they're going to walk with you. And if they're not, quite simply, they're not. Like I said, people walk in and out of our lives all the time, and they play important roles, whether they're there for a long time or they're there for a short time, and maybe they're there for life. But people play different roles in our lives. But you can only change your life. Meaning you can literally mold yourself to do anything you want. I understand people are born with different opportunities sometimes, but generally speaking, we're all born with opportunities to take ourselves to the next level. There's rarely any excuses anymore not to elevate ourselves. You have to be an absolute, firm believer in yourself, and you have to trust in God and let him take that pressure off of you and to get you to where you got to be. You have to be okay enough and stable enough to be your own support system. Because sometimes people don't want to deal with their BS. That's just the way it is. People don't want to sit down and hear you and offer you a hand. You have to sit there and do it yourself, which is perfectly fine. It is more than okay to do things by yourself. And if anything, it's probably the preferred method, doing things by yourself, moving on your own. Because like I said, you get full control. Even when it comes to businesses, let's put it in an example like that. If I were to open up a business, I'd likely, depending on the scale of it, would want to start off with a sole proprietorship. So I get control of that. If you end up doing a partnership, especially with a partner you can't trust, they could take advantage of you. They could take more than what was planned. They could change up on a lot of things and completely screw you over. And the same applies to pretty much every aspect of life. Now, I'm not saying don't open up to people, but don't open up to people too much, especially when you don't know them. But even when you do, I've had people in my life that tell me they love me, that tell me they're there for me, where I open up and I become vulnerable, and things end up doing a whole 180, and things get flipped on me, and I end up being more hurt than I had ambition. You know what I mean? And so I'm talking from personal experience. I think it's important for me to get personal, to touch bases with you guys watch this video. But that's not me saying I regret talking to people and trusting people, but you have to be careful who you trust and what you trust them with. There's levels to things. So you got to be able to back yourself, because a lot of people nowadays are not going to do that for you. And you should not expect anybody to be there for you. Do not expect anyone to hold your hand through anything in life. Hold your own hand and let God hold your other hand. You know what I mean? Do something other than lay your life and base it off of other people. Never base your life off of other people's decisions, other people's emotions, anything like that. Base it off of yourself. And be a faithful, good person. Be genuine. and just walk, like I said, with a confident stride, and walk with the best intentions you can. Be a loving person, you know. Given the choice between being loving and being a good person and being a bad person, why would you not pick to share love and to be happy? You know what I mean? Because you can control that, and in doing so, by spreading love and good vibes to other people, it makes your life overall better, and God will reward you for that, for spreading that. You know, there's some things that have happened in my life to where I almost want to have a negative mindset to make it go way faster. So like, you know what, in my head I think maybe if I hate it, then it'll be easy for me to put aside. But me having hate towards these certain situations made it so much worse, because every day I was living in a constant pool of hate and negativity and toxicity, and it made me feel a lot more worse as a person. But then when I learned forgiveness, when I learned acceptance, when I learned to love myself and not base my feelings or my life off of other people's decisions, and when I learned to trust in God and elevate myself, I felt that difference immensely. And I cannot stress that enough. I felt that difference like literally like that. As soon as I gave up my life to God and to my future, to my success, when I gave myself that mindset like that I'm exactly where I need to be, I am on the right path, and I am a winner, bro, my life changed completely. Like, my standards went higher. Not that I'm some perfect man, nobody's perfect, but I definitely raised the bar for myself. I don't settle for anything, you know. I know the respect that I deserve. I know the love that I deserve. I know everything in my life that is deserving, and it's basically bare minimum stuff. But I don't accept BS anymore, and nobody should. Everybody is deserving of the same love, the same affection, the same trust, and the same success. As long as they chase it, it's gonna come to you. You have to believe, and you have to chase and work hard. Because if winning was easy, everybody would be a winner. And that goes back to God literally giving us free will. Like, we get to make that decision of having Him in our life or not. And God is only going to guide you to be a winner. Now, if everyone believed in God, which you would like to think they do, but unfortunately in this world they do not, everybody will be at the top. But you see some people that don't believe in God and don't live their life faithfully. Maybe in some materialistic ways they've made it, but they're probably miserable internally. You know what I mean? It's all about balance too. Like, success isn't just money. Money is really not happiness. Now, I'm not saying money can't bring happiness. Of course, if everyone got $1 million right now, of course they'd be happy. They can buy their dream house, dream car, you know, materialistic clothing and all that stuff. But that's not what life is about. Success to me, and I think how it should be to everybody, is happiness. Like, someone that runs a pizza place, maybe, you know what I mean? And they love serving their community. That could bring them the most, the happiest feelings ever, you know what I mean? They could be at their best. And that to me is success. That they can go home at night with a smile on their face and feel like they're doing a great thing. That is success. But of course, success can be money too, you know. If you work to live a very, very rich and wealthy life, to support yourself, support your family, support your community, whatever it is you want to do, of course that's happiness, you know. God is happiness too. I realize that I'm nothing without God, and that's a very crucial message that He sent me. And of course, it's not like He's taking jabs or digging at me. He just made it evident through literally typical life. Like when lustful thoughts would cross my mind, or thoughts that didn't kind of go with the virtues of the word, of the good word, and all that stuff. When I would kind of contradict the things that I would preach and do things that I know were considered sins and not in my best interest, bro, I felt terrible. Like, it was evident to me that without God, I'm not my best self. I'm not happy overall. I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. It's just not the same. Even if in the moment of me committing any sin or not being super faithful, I get that temporary satisfaction, that little bit of dopamine. Afterwards, all you feel is regret. And now, I'm not someone who likes to live my life with regrets. I think every mistake and every decision we make can be turned into a lesson, and can be used to shape us and for us to learn. So I don't like to regret anything, but dang, do you feel bad after? And you just have to get right into forgiving. You know what I mean? But yeah, I just kind of had a rant on here real quick. Not really rant, but more so speak my mind. You know, my mind was racing today. I had a lot going on. You know, all the cogs and gears were spinning. So I wanted to kind of get out here and preach something good. So guys, remember, all you need in life is yourself and God. And that's really what it comes down to. God will never guide you wrong. And as long as you want good things in this world, you will never guide yourself to be in a bad position. You know, we're all given the same opportunities under God's eyes. So we might as well live up to the full expectations from Him and from ourselves. You know, do not limit yourself in this world. Always push yourself for more, strive for more. Even when you think you got here, take it right there. You know what I mean? Just take it to that next level and always push yourself. The power is in your mindset. The power is in what you believe, and the power is in Christ. So guys, God bless. And if you listen to this whole thing, I really do appreciate you watching, and I hope you consider subscribing.